Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Manoj Atri, your host for tonight. I am a real estate agent with the Remax Hallmark. And let's take a hi from our expert, mortgage expert, Faisal Garcia. There you go, sir. Faisal, good evening. You're mute, sir.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening to you and our audience here as well.
Yes, and just to give you a heads up, we are live on at the moment 3 channels.
Fantastic.
Yes, so we are live on Facebook, and we are live on Twitter. And I'm going to just give me a moment here. I'm just going to check up our feeds on all 3, and all 3 are perfect. I hope if someone can give me a yes, if they can hear us, that would be the best. Yes, Faisal sir, go ahead. Give me any. Let me see if I can get a yes from someone, and if they can hear us properly, because otherwise we'll be talking for an hour, and no one can hear us. Interesting. Yes, sir. So, how was your day?
Good. It's Monday, busy day. After the weekend. It's Monday. That's all I can say.
That's all you can say. Okay. Now, what is any thought process on how's the market these days?
Sir, to be honest, if I look at the market, let's just say 5 years ago, the market was season to season.
Mm-hmm.
After that, fast forward 2 years, after 3 years ago, 2 years ago, it was month to month. Recently, I'm seeing market week to week. I'm not sure if I'm correct.
Okay,
but I'm
interesting. Interesting. So it's changing every week, huh? Not even giving a month, huh?
Yeah, and the frequency of changes is quite often, quite a lot. There are some weeks where I see lots of inflow. There are some weeks it's not so much. There are some weeks I see multiple offers. There are some weeks I see offers with conditions. So it really is, in my expert opinion, I think I would say week to week. I don't know. What do you see?
The main, and that is what I'm trying to pick up in our first topic is like the condos downtown.
Mm-hmm.
They have gone drastically down, and that's what we are going to pick it up for today. So why don't I start with what we are doing today, and we pick it up from there. Hi, good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining. And so let me pick it up on how we are going about this particular one. Again, I'll start with my real estate monologue, and then I will be picking up 2 articles, and let's see how we go time wise, and we'll see their condo market in trouble. And Faisal, that was the one that was that will share it here. And
Yeah.
And there is she has written a very good article, and she's like literally caught the gist of it. So we'll try to cover that particular one today. Condo market in trouble and 10 most common buying and selling mistakes. That is what we are going to pick it up. And then by the time our audience will be all warmed up, we will be picking our main topic of the day, perils and benefits of rent-to-own homes. So lots of people are always, we are always trying to walk them through this particular program. And today we are going to pick up the perils and other benefits that are there. And you will be there with us for the live interview with you. So that is what we are trying to achieve today. Anything you would like to add? How does the day look there?
Sir, you have all the, I should say, golden nuggets.
I appreciate that.
every one of them seems like a golden nugget. Condo market is a hot topic to talk about. Specifically, the first-time home buyers that would like to enter the real estate market. Rent-to-own perils and benefits, another huge important one to explore. And of course, any questions they have will be here.
Okay, remain with me on this my real estate monologue, and I will give you exactly what we had in mind. See, I may have discussed this with you earlier, but let's give you a brief on this particular again. You remember, I'm actively in real estate from 2003, so almost 16, 17 years. And in 2016, literally in January 2016, it completely changed. Overnight it changed. And from that day onwards, till around 4 or 5 years, it remained the same. So this is the part where I'm covering my real estate monologue here. Now, I'll give you a brief what exactly happened there, because now I know why things went bad. And in 2016 and 2017 also, I was trying to explain a lot of people. And now we're into a similar format, and that's what I'm going to highlight here. Faisal, you remember Uber came into the market, and it, changed the taxi industry quite a lot. You remember?
Yes.
I mean, so many people whomsoever we used to talk who were in the taxi business, they said, it is completely changed. Then Uber came, then Lyft came, and those companies came in over. And the taxi industry was a different industry. Same thing happened with real estate. And that is with the Airbnb. Airbnb messed the real estate industry. I won't say exactly messed up, but I mean, it changed the format. It changed the format for real estate and for the hotel industry. And so from 2016 onwards, I mean, try to visualize here. You're renting your place for $2,000 per month, and now you can make $4,000 per month. So it changed the concept there, and that's why that pressure those renters who could not now afford, or the landlords who went into the short-term rentals, they came into the real estate market, and then the supply and demand equation became completely different. And suddenly, 2016, the entire market real estate changed. It went in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, all the way till March of 2020. COVID came in over.
Yeah.
And see, to tell you frankly, I was very happy with one of my statements. I was just trying to see, sometimes you want to go back and forth and figure it out. What you were telling your clients, was that correct or not? Because see, whenever they used to ask me, do you think this price will keep on going up? And I used to say, yes, the price, the way it's looking, it's going to keep it up until and unless something happens. In 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, we had no clue about COVID. So COVID was the major surprise or a disaster. And now, all those properties in the downtown core, they have come back. Airbnb is not there. Immigration is not there. Flights are not coming. And those people who had bought condos for investment purposes and things like that, they now are in a mess. The prices have drastically gone down. They cannot sustain those condos. And it's a glut of condos in the downtown core. And the Toronto downtown core condos is more in trouble than we can think. And that is what this article is also substantiating what I'm repeating in my monologue here. Go ahead, sir. Any thought process on that?
Sir, and you're right. In 2015, the changes that happened that led to a huge change in the real estate market 2016 and so on, and how Airbnb changed the hotel industry, at the same time real estate industry that went from long-term rentals to short-term rentals to making more with less risk, and so on and so forth. It all changed, but what I would say is it changed too fast, too quick, and gave an equity to basically supply and demand. The demand of those properties outstripped the supply, and therefore prices were pushed up.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, like I'll also continue with the monologue for a few more minutes. Faisal, you must be remembering there was one phase, and that's why I could, I'm trying to pick up 2 points here, and that will explain you how things are, and that is why what we are in the market today. That is what people have to realize, that from these 2 examples. I'll give you first example. You remember the mortgage changes were there when they changed it from 35-year amortization to 25 years amortization. And suddenly at that period of time, I found that the activity soared. People, because see, those who would qualify for a certain amount with 35-year amortization will get less amount qualified with the 25-year amortization. And suddenly we found that many new buyers came into the market right there and then. Yes. That was example number 1. You very well remember, because we were in between a property that day. And second example I'll give you in 2016. And I'll tell you exactly this is what happened. We had a property in December of 2015, and the closing was in February of 2016. Suddenly, before closing, real estate agents started calling me, and they said, "Does your new buyer, wants to sell this property, 50K more?" And literally, in 2 months, from December till the time of closing, 2 months, the property rose by between $50,000 and $60,000. This has never happened. And I immediately knew something has come up in the picture. And now the reason why I am taking these 2 examples and walking you through here is, that means this Airbnb, which is at a standstill today, and the downtown core, which has a glut of condos, we again have another window of 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
When the COVID vaccine is there, which they are in US saying coming in April, and even earlier, the moment it comes, hits the market, and the thing starts going normal, I would say, see, it will take another 2 to 3 months to things go normal. So you can add from 4 to 6 months.
Yes.
And the interest rates are low. So this is a very, very good time. Again, there is a window of opportunity here that people can come into the market if they are on the sidelines here, get it addressed. Am I making sense here?
Absolutely, sir.
Because the moment COVID medicine is out, things starts going normal. Airbnb is back in business. We are back to the same old school higher prices. And again, everything changes.
Sir, I'm already seeing some changes in the market with that.
Yes.
Because I'm also involved in the financial market.
Mm-hmm.
And in the financial market, they say trend is your friend.
Oh, good one.
I've already started to see, because the COVID vaccine conversation has been maybe a week old, not too old.
Yes.
Okay.
US elections onwards.
Yes.
Yes.
US. And after that, I've already seen some changes in financial market.
Yes.
Which to me tells me that as soon as the solution comes out, everything will be back to normal.
There is a second company which has come up with 95% like a rate, good rate.
Yeah.
Good results. They're saying.
Yeah.
And that will be a game changer again. So
exactly.
So again, I mean, the reason I'm trying to walk our prospects here is there is a good window of opportunity here. If you're on the sideline to work on it, they should look into it. Okay, Faisal, let's start with our first article and see where we can take it from there. Okay, give me a moment here and I am going to take you there. Okay, so Toronto condo market is in more trouble than you think. This is by Melissa Elise, and she had written it on the 4th of November, and she is with TVO 50. Okay, now let's walk you through some of the stuff that she's saying. And I've basically given you the same gist that is in there. The ones who got into the market on its way up tend to pat themselves on the back for their decision-making savvy, while those left out have been calling out for bubble burst for years, even decades. Now it appears that those priced out of will soon have their moment. And there is a deep correction of the industry. The pandemic has exposed vulnerabilities in the condo market. Investors who purchased units converted into short-term rentals and listed them on such sites as Airbnb. Faisal, I just walked you through the preliminary on that one. So that is where the problem is lying. Those people who had bought these particular properties, and now the investors are there, and they see, if you're making good money, and you have, it's better to have the money in a real estate than in banks.
Yes.
And COVID was nowhere in sight. Nowhere. Not even in your
you could not
vague imagination.
Yeah.
There was not even an imagination there.
Yeah.
That something like this could happen. But I mean, I was thankful to my, just always add, like anything else can happen. Wars can happen. Something else can happen. You don't know. So that don't know was what happened. And that is where things are. And those people, I mean, this is my strong suggestion. The people on the sidelines, if they want to get into the market, this is one of the good moments to get into.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next line. In 2010, long before the pandemic, Toronto condo market showed signs of vulnerability, from falling windows to unsustainable community planning, and yet the boom continued. Yes, there was no stopping. It was just going wild. In 2008, the average price was $295. Currently, it is $565. Wow. Wow. Almost 10-12 years. At first, the boom was fueled by the growing population, students and young professionals, and then came Airbnb. Over the past decade, it went from a simple way to earn some extra money from unused space to a thriving real estate sub-industry, a boom within a boom. Okay. Here, I may slightly differ. Faisal, it was not a boom within a boom. This situation was created by Airbnb. We were selling these condos, and then Airbnb came and the prices rose. And there was no restraining on Airbnb. It was a wild card. There's no rules and regulations. There was nothing. They were trying to figure it out how to handle this. And also at that time, I also mentioned a few of the other people that yes, this has to rein in. The government has to rein in on Airbnb. But the main thing here is government takes its own time. And the second thing is sometimes you are not able to rein in. Anything which comes online is huge always. What do you have to say, Fazil?
So, also it was, what I would like to add is it was like a tech bust.
Yes.
It was, and it is very technology related. So now the way I see the writers boom within a boom is it was already booming.
Okay.
It was already increasing. Values were increasing drastically already with the supply, demand more than supply. And this was before the builders went full in, building condos everywhere, right? So it was already going up, and all of a sudden Airbnb came in. That just gave boom within a boom.
Fueled it further.
Yes. So it was already going, not crazy, but it was an increasing market. But all of a sudden you fuel that increase, it will only go crazy, which is what happened.
Okay. Let's go with, now investors saw that automated short-term rentals were a simple, profitable way around Ontario's pro-tenant laws, and condo sales continued to skyrocket. According to 2020 Fairbnb, if all Toronto home stock listed on short-term rental websites such as Airbnb were converted into long-term housing, the rental vacancy rate would increase from 1.3 to 3%. Can you imagine this? Almost double. So now, even the hotel it has messed up even the hotel industry. So it is bittersweet from them, because see, the main thing is, Airbnb is closed, but because of COVID, there is no one coming to the hotel.
Yes.
So it's a mess for them even now. Now the main thing here is, so the issues facing the markets are becoming too big to ignore now. They have to offload these long-term renters. People are doing lots of assignment on the unconstructed ones. And while there are no exact numbers, it is estimated that almost 50% of pre-construction condo sales are as investments. Wow. Half of them are investments. So to tell you frankly, I was going through some of the numbers here, Faisal. I was going through an article today, and it says 10 skyscrapers which are coming in the downtown core, and they were reviewing that. Faisal, their price range is all in the $1 million range.
Yes.
So, even for investors, what are they basically dumping their money here, or what are they trying to do here?
Sir, someone said some time ago, and somewhere I heard this. I don't know where I heard it or so on and so forth. Toronto has been following, as per trend, the New York.
Okay.
So if you look at New York 10 years ago,
New York is wild, yes.
Is exactly what Toronto is doing 10 years. There is a gap of about 10 years between both.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if this, and as you say this and read it, this is what comes to my mind. I don't know if it is relevant, but I've heard enough celebrities buying those penthouse condos that are in millions.
Faisal, these are like skyscrapers.
Yes.
Huge. And the main thing, I mean, like I always get scared thinking 80th floor or 90th floor, and you have to come down if something goes wrong. You're not coming down. Stay stay there for a week, 10 days. Because if you come down, you can't go up. So and I was seeing those ones. Awesome. I mean, $1 million and up. So it's not a regular cup of tea. Very small again. And yes, but obvious, these are state of the art. And those things are there. But the main thing here is like, how will you sustain that particular amount level of, and what will happen? They will keep on, see, where people are struggling with $500,000 and $600,000 condos. So what will happen to those $1 million funds?
Sir, another factor is, so let's just go 14, 15 years back when I came to the country. When I was in India, if someone said, "Where are you going?" my answer was Toronto.
Okay.
When I thought of Canada,
same here.
Right? I'm only thinking major cities.
Sure.
I don't see Scarborough. I don't see Oshawa. I don't see Etobicoke. I don't see anything, any of those.
Yeah, it's the name. Toronto is
it's a name.
Yes,
Toronto.
Yes.
That's where I'm going.
Sure.
Oh, you're going to live in Toronto? Yes, that's where I'm going to live. Now, when you land here, you spend 10 years, then you realize, well, it's best to leave a little bit out and still have more for what you can get.
Makes sense.
But anyone that is outside the country, so let's say if someone is migrating from China, what do you think they know? Where are they going?
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So with social security we have, because when you look at this entire globe, the way Canada handles things, everything from political, from financial, from every aspect, the stability is there.
Yep.
Makes
sense.
Therefore, when the investor money moves in,
it's all going to big cities.
The major cities.
Okay.
That's my thinking. I'm not sure if you have anything different.
No. It's my main thing. The only thing here is like these are lots of condos and the price range is very high. So I'm just wanting to figure it out. Like how will all of these get occupied, or what will happen to them? I mean, like these are state of the art condos. We understand that part. They are in the best part of the city. We understand that part. And but the price range is just too high for the general public. Let's see. Maybe you can't buy detached properties within the city anyway. So maybe that would be the alternative there then. Okay, let's head over to the next part of the article. Now, in the time of declining rents, condo dweller fleeing the city, a disrupted Airbnb market, halted immigration and tourism, it is no surprises that the condo investors now want out of their contracts. Yeah, we just walked you through. Now, the city has been working towards a fair resolution. Okay, so this is what has come into the market recently. In September, stricter short-term rental bylaws came into effect. As of September 3rd, people allowed to rent only part of their primary residence on a short-term rental website. Since September 10, anyone wanting to list 2-3 rooms in the primary residence or primary residence in its entirety has to register with the city first. Really? Those who already operate short-term rentals or plan to do must register by December 31st. Faisal, are you aware of this?
I'm not aware of this, but there is no government law that actually comes in and gives you enough time to breathe. So I remember changing the amortization from 35 to 30 to 30, from 30 to 25. It was very short time. It was barely 2 months for it from the announcement to application. Now, what will this do? I would have to really comprehend first as to what it will do.
So basically, I mean, this does not mean Airbnb. It means any rental property. Isn't that?
I think it's covering all short-term rentals.
Hold on. Let's go through line by line on this particular one. It says, since September 10, anyone wanting to list up to 3 rooms in their primary residence or the primary residence in its entirety has to register with the city first. So this is nothing to do with Airbnb. It is like any rental.
Short-term rental. Okay, so this is what I can think. I'm not sure. I would let you say first, and then I'll give you my piece.
Those who already operate short-term rentals or plan to do so must register by December. Okay, so somewhere it is not for regular rental. It is for short-term rentals.
Exactly.
Okay. So that may still make sense. Go ahead, sir.
You know what I see is Airbnb is one example. Okay. One company. For example, Uber came out.
There will be other companies, yes, down the line.
Skip the Dishes came out. Just Eat came out with an app. There's other ones that have app.
Yeah.
Just like Airbnb, if there is another company that comes out, they want to cover that all. Everything short-term rental. That's what I see.
That is what. But no, I was just trying to understand here. That means if you're trying to do a rental, a long-term rental, then you don't have to register. Is that right? It's only for a short-term rental.
It's only for short-term.
Okay. Well, let's head further part of this particular article.
I think that also means that there will be different landlord-tenant laws that would have to be brought into place.
No, the main thing here is like now, if you're trying to do a rental, you have to sign up that. And see, in real estate, we were trying to do our agreement to lease. Now you have to do the Ontario tenant and board paperwork there.
I
see. You have to sign that lease there. That is a must. That is a must. I mean, like those are our guidelines that you have to get that addressed.
When did that change?
I think so. April or May of this year. There was something like that.
Recently?
No, not recently. No. It was probably last year. Last year, April or May.
Still recently. It's only a year and
a
couple of months.
That is yes. Okay.
Half of that year has gone in COVID, which is a skip anyway.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, now this new legislation combined with the second wave of coronavirus will surely exacerbate the devastating impacts of the first wave and could push the condo market over the edge. The number of downtown condos listed for sale increased by 215%. This is what is the glut in the market. And that is what I wanted to walk the prospects here is take advantage of it. It's not going to remain there for long. More supply than demand. Prices fall. Condo prices, particularly for those under 500 square feet, are now showing a decline when measured month to month. There is a glut of inventory and impeding price correction is anticipated. Housing market experts say that a glut of inventory is the first sign of an impeding price correction. Toronto booming condo market seemed unstoppable for a while. The average price almost doubled in 12 years. But now it is going for a correction. And that is what she is highlighting in the end. I would wager that we are due for a massive correction. Very nice article, and I like, she picked up all the right points there, and she exactly picked up the concept that I had at the back of my mind. So that's the reason I picked up this particular article to review.
It's a fantastic article.
Yes.
It's actually very good. It's very relevant.
Yes.
Extremely relevant article. So yeah.
And now let's in the end, that's what I was again emphasizing. If you are in the market, there is a glut of condos in the downtown core, and take advantage of it. And it is extremely important that don't sit on the side fence. The interest rates are low. The condos, if you're wanting to buy downtown condos, it is a good time to buy. Another 6 months, we'll be back to normalcy as soon as COVID goes back, and until and unless anything else happens.
Comes. We need to keep that in a
double dip, huh?
It's like a disclosure.
Yes, yes. Anything to tell you frankly, COVID has thrown us in a completely different set of mind frame. Anything can happen.
Anything.
The world has become a very different place now. See, there are copycats.
Yeah.
And you never know which country wants to mess up the rest of the world. We are going down. Let's take the world down.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sir, there is something. There is a term called biotech weapon or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There is a term.
Yes.
And yeah, that exists.
I mean, we used to see it in movies only. I mean, the COVID scenario was there in movies. We never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Till it became a reality.
Yeah.
And they have shown many other ways.
Yes.
They have shown numerous other ways that it can sabotage the world.
Yeah.
Okay, Faisal, let's head over to our next article, which is by our Real Estate Council of Ontario, RECO. And this is watch out for the top 10 most common buying and selling mistakes. It's an old article, but it picks up the highlights here. It is by one of our Reconnect, and that is where we are. And we are going to pick it up one by one, 10 points. And let's go. And what do you have to say about this, picking up this particular article there?
Sir, it's a good one. It's a market where real estate is active. Why not look at the mistakes that others make and not do them? Learn from others and steer clear.
The reason I picked up one is like I was emphasizing it's a good 5-6 months period for you to act. And when you have to act, you have to just make sure that you don't do some of the mistakes. So it was in sequence of that particular one I picked it up. So let's go with...
Sir,
yes, go ahead.
Before we proceed, do you actually see 5-6 months?
See,
from now until things start to get normalized, if the vaccine comes in? See,
the main thing here is the vaccine has to come. Like the vaccine is already there. I mean, they have now announced a second company in US, which had like almost 95% results. So now they are saying in their country it will be done by April. Okay, the rest of the countries are also picking up. So by the time the whole world reaches April, May, June, again the springtime, and the moment, like you say, it's going to come, things start getting on a different format. And the main thing here is like, see, interest rates are the lowest there. As soon as the market will see like, no, it's improving, they'll keep on rising.
True.
And
Eh,
this window will not last more than, I wouldn't say more than like 6 months. On the outskirts, maybe 9. But the main thing happens here is, see, in real estate, the activities generally pick it up in March, April anyway.
True.
And we're already like, and I expect it like if the vaccine is there, we should be on full swing from June, July onwards.
True.
And it will just keep on like going on the upward trend. That down dip will stop after. I mean, I think so for another, because see, Christmas brings in low activity anyway because everyone is in the holiday season mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it usually from 15th of December till 15th of January, there is less activity.
True.
So from now till, I would say 15th of January, it will be okay. But after 15th of January, I think so, if the vaccine results are okay, and even if the media is picking it up on that, then it will keep on rising. That is what I would say. And what the prices that we can get today, because of the low interest rates, I don't think so we'll get it there. See, detached properties have not gone down. It's the condo downtown core. Nowhere else it has gone, because that is where the glut was. And that is why I have a strong feeling like if 6 to 9 months, yes, we'll be back with full swing, and we will have to go and remember this particular webinar. See, we told you that. Act now. We told you that. Okay, let's head over to this particular one. Hiring the first salesperson you meet. Okay, this is what I would like to walk you through. Talk to 2 or 3 of them, absolutely a must. And you have to pick up some of these things that I would suggest when you are trying to hire your first real estate agent. How does he vibes with you? Okay, and Faisal, I'm going to share this with you. How you ask him a question, he does not answer that question, but he answers you something else. And let's say, suppose even if he's answering, does he answer the question that you have asked him? Is he walking you through? Is he, see, if a person is, he knows his field, you ask him a question from any angle, he'll be able to get you to the right note there. You have to vibe with him. Now, how much time is he willing to give it to you? And also you have to see, you called him, how long it took him to call you back. That's your first meeting. You're still trying to hire him. See these small things and then see how long has he been. Go through his websites, go through his social media, go through his how he's trying to explain you the thing, how easy he makes it. Go through the normal format of how do you feel working with that particular gentleman before you start putting things together. What do you have to add to that?
The number of years the person has been in business, if they do that full-time, part-time.
Absolutely.
Many other factors. But yeah, I strongly suggest interview few at least before you start.
Talk to 2, 3 of them and see which one makes you feel comfortable. Not making your expectations clear with your real estate professionals. This is an absolute must here. You have to tell him what exactly is in there. Okay, now I'll walk you through here. See, this is how I explain this particular part to them. There is a dream, there is a reality on the ground. And you have to land. In your mind, you think, I'm going to buy a house and it's going to look like this. It will be the dream house, blah, blah, blah. You come and sit down with me I will ask you what is your income, and then I say, this is only you will get. So the reality has to slowly and steadily come in over. Then the areas have to come in over. What type of property can you buy? So things have to get down on the reality level. So yes, not making your expectation clear. So also you have to tell him what all things are important to you. And then he may tell you, with this particular amount of money, and this is the market, you may not even reach anywhere. So sit down with him, have an open discussion, look at all the alternatives. See, there are lots of things in the play there. Go ahead, sir.
The reality, and thank you because all of those make a lot of sense. It's like a matchmaking.
Sure.
It's like a matchmaking, client versus, and you do most, a realtor does the most of the part. And then there is, of course, the mortgage part. So no property is similar to the next property. Just like that, no mortgage is similar to the next mortgage. There's differences. How much can you qualify for, so on and so forth. And there's many variables. What I also see from time to time is clients going, well, my banker said I can be approved for this much. Okay.
Regular answer.
My answer is, well, I'm looking at it from every angle. And if you stretch this number, there is a high chance you may not be able to qualify and you'll need a cosigner. And I had a client last weekend, Sunday. I was out on a walk and I got a call from the realtor. The offer was already in. The offer was getting accepted that evening. And I got the call. Until Thursday, we tried every way possible. And on Thursday, I had to say, you need a cosigner with this much income. If they have any debts, then I need this much more income from that cosigner, and they cannot own another property. So it was not a good news that I had to deliver, but they should have gotten a pre-approval.
Yes, the expectations and have to be very, very clear. And to tell you frankly, I'll put it in a different way. When you're trying to buy a house, think in terms of you're climbing the Mount Everest. You need to do your homework. You need to have the exact, how much am I pre-approved for? What is my rate? How much will it come to a per month amount? Before you go and even indulge outside. On the basis of your income, on the basis of everything else, you may think, I can pay $3,000. Paying exactly $3,000, you will have to cut from some other areas. And you may not be ready for that.
Yeah.
And all those numbers you have to know initially, not at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And try to visualize here. It is good. See, you have, when you go through the pre-approval process, all your documents have to be there. You are not going to be struggling when you are in a 5-day condition there.
No.
Because then things are running in a different way. It goes wild there then.
Yes.
And so that is why, I always think in terms of climbing a Mount Everest. There are too many things that you would like to know. This is a new chapter for you. It's a new, and it's a very big buying that you're going to do. The amount of funds are too large. You make a mistake, $10,000 or $20,000 is just gone like that.
Absolutely.
And getting those $10,000 or $20,000 may take you a full year to bring them together. It's not an easy exercise there. So have your expectations very, very clear, and have a solid discussion before you go and indulge. Next one is failing to read and understand forms and contracts. Now, I'll add something here. Most of the time, prospects would like you to come and meet at the site and then show you the property and take it from there. No, don't do that. Go and first sit down in the office. Go through the various things that are required. Ask questions. Get the whole gist in there before you go and start showing the properties and start seeing the properties. Because at a later stage, you will not understand what's going on there. Then you are, you didn't tell me this. Or you did not, I had no clue this was there. And that is the reason you go, sit down, go through the forms, contracts, obligations, how the whole thing runs, what is the outline of the buying process. Have a meeting. What do you have to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, when you're buying a home, there's many things you have to go through, like many things. And it's going your suggested way is ideal. Do your research, sit down with the realtor, ask lots of questions, understand the process if you don't know already, and take things slow, step by step. Make sure you're fully geared up.
Yeah.
Because once you see the property, you like it, and you put in an offer, the 5 days go very fast.
Oh, and other problems come in between.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next one is equally important. Allowing emotions to overtake common sense.
That's a hard one.
This is where I have many times worked my clients on this one. Real estate is numbers crunching. It's also a sort of an investment. Fall in love later. No emotions here. Keep the emotions under control, under check. If you the moment you like a particular property, you may be overpaying on that particular property. And if something goes wrong at your end, you cannot get out of it. You will not be happy with yourself. So do big prudence. It is a property. It has to be bought at the right price. And you have to keep your emotions absolutely under control. Go ahead, Faisal.
Sir, I could have not been able to say anything better. So I'm going to say you've said it perfect. No addition needed.
Faisal, this one is so, I have done this exercise another number of times. And I have walked many of them with, sir, this is a number game. Buying real estate is a numbers game. The numbers have to be correct. You cannot get into a multiple offer situation and overpay unnecessarily. Get out of the contract. There are other properties, we will get it. You've just started with the, you don't have to indulge into it right away. I have received so many times calls when people have overbought the property, market went down, now they are hit by twice the number.
Twice, yeah.
They have overpaid and the market has also taken a dip. And now If their situation change, if you have to go out, you relocate, there is some other situation, there is lack of job, COVID has come in over, or something is there, you're stuck. You cannot be this is a real estate business, this is a business transaction. You have to have a complete control on your emotions. Once you go start, see and I'll add something more. We are in a property and there are discussions. Oh, this will suit, I'm buying this one because it will suit the color of my furniture. So I want to go ahead with this one. And the price may be too high for that. No, you cannot get into this details of this one. The numbers have to work right. Everything else can follow. Yes, and then if the color matches, perfect. But not the other way around. I've taken it in a more deeper note than it should be. Go ahead, Faisal.
I've never heard that, but I'm sure you've heard things that I can never hear.
No, I have seen that many a times. What happens is, and the main thing here is, my approach from day one is so different that I'm always keeping them very much informed with the numbers. The numbers are right. The numbers have to be right on, and reality on the ground.
Yeah.
Don't. You can fall in love later.
Yeah.
The marriage is first, love is later. Okay, let me head over to the next part here. Okay, next one is, this is also equally important. Assuming everything is included. No. If it is not in writing, it is not included. That has to be the bottom line. That has to be the bottom line whenever you're trying to do. Assuming everything is included, no. If it is not in writing, then it is he said, she said.
Yeah.
This is what happened at that time. This is what happened at that time. No, why don't have it in writing? Have an amendment. Have it got it included. If something is there in your mind at the time you are seeing that particular property, tell your agent, is this included? Is this included? Is this included? Because you may think it is included, but it may not be included. Chattels generally are the main problem here. And you remember last time, Faisal, we were doing a full article when the butt had vanished. when it was something in the deck that had completely gone off, and people will sue you. And to tell you frankly, you tell here also some it has to be clearly understood. Suing is not easy.
No.
That stuff may cost like $1,000, and the lawyer fees may be more than $1,000.
Absolutely.
Oh, what's the use of suing? It is not equivalent there at all. So you have to make sure it is whatever you think it should be included. Ask sometimes, because see, the main thing here is when people are wanting to buy and sell, they sometimes leave some of the stuff and go. Ask them. You may be able to buy it out.
Yeah.
Maybe also able to include it in the mortgage. It'll be very cheaper there. Yes. So it has to be, like whatever is coming in your mind, always get it in writing there. Go ahead, sir. Faisal, if you want to add something.
Yeah. No verbal. Nothing verbal.
Perfect.
Or no assumption.
Yes.
Even more. It's no different than the car in the driveway. If you go to see a home and you see a car in the driveway, does not mean the car comes with the house.
That would be awesome.
Right?
It was there. When I
was
saw it,
there.
it was there.
It's no different.
It is absolutely true. That is the reality exactly there. Okay, let's pick up the next point. Forgetting about what's within the walls. Yes. If you see an old property, ask questions. Get the home inspector to check it out thoroughly. Ask him what is inside. What all he may not be able to like drill holes and get you the information, but he'll be able to guide you. And in case if you still are not happy, get some other inspections. And these days you have thermal inspections also. Faisal, have you heard about these latest thermal ones?
I've heard of it. I've never done one myself, or I have not even seen a client do one. But I usually don't find out much about inspection anyway. Most times I get to see the file in pre-approval stage, then there is an offer, the mortgage gets approved, and then inspection and such is done. And all I get is a amendment or a condition of financing, so on, so forth. So I've never actually known a client who actually did it. I'm sure some of them did it, and I just never.
Yes, there are some home inspectors these days who will do a thermal. So they will be able to tell you how much is the water seepage may have been there.
I see.
Yeah, or they are like there are lots of gadgets these days. Just to mention it to you, like without even drilling. They can get you lots of things behind. Like it's almost like an X-ray kind of a thing. So they do insulation wise and probably like seepage wise, because see in the basements you cannot seepage is the most problematic there, and you cannot come to know exactly how much is the damage that is going to come down the line. So from those points of view, it is very interesting to note those particular ones. Okay, now let me take it over to the next one. Not doing your research. Absolutely. A simple internet search for the address can go a long way. Okay. Just the internet search will give you lots of good ideas about that particular area. Has there been something going on wrong with that area? And your agent has access to more information about that particular property. Ask him about those detailed reports. They will provide it to you before you even put an offer. Before putting an offer, always send my clients detailed reports. We have 2-3 ways of obtaining those reports. And we get those reports, send it over to them. Now, see, easements. Okay, I'll give you an example recently. Very interesting example. An easement was on the file. Okay, and I called up the listing agent. She said, yes, it is there. I said, what it is for? He said she has no clue. I said, okay, can you ask the sellers if he or she has a good idea? She called the sellers and they said, we have no clue. The easement is on the property. It's on the title of the property. And I said, I updated my buyers, like there is an easement on the property. And in easement is like some service firms can come onto your property and even can dig out your backyard if the easement allows that. So like Bell has it, Rogers has it, some other companies may also have it in a similar format. Gas lines may be there or something else, utility services may be there. Now, I immediately sent it over to the lawyer and asked him, can you please double check what exactly is this easement? This is the reply I got from the lawyer. Yes, there used to be an easement, but it has ran its course, so it is no more valid. I said, okay, if it is no more valid, why is it on the title? He said, yes, once the buyer is wanting to go ahead, we will have to send a request to remove it. So you have to go into an extra layer and ask questions and check more about the property before you indulge into it. You need to know what exactly are you buying. And that is where more research becomes effective. Go ahead, Faisal.
Yeah, you've covered it pretty well. You have to go one or two layer deeper to make sure, because buying a property for most clients is the biggest investment of their life. When you do that, you must do every research you can that you want to, at least to sort of satisfy yourself.
Absolutely. Okay, Faisal, this next one is equally important. Forgetting about what's outside the walls. Visit the neighborhood at different times of the day to see if the surroundings fit your lifestyle. Extremely, extremely important. And I regularly, these are some of the things that I tell my clients. Once you have narrowed down a particular property, go into the neighborhood during morning, afternoon, and evening hours and see, can you fit yourself in there? Very, very important. Go to the neighborhood tea shops, general shopping areas. Ask the neighborhood, how is this neighborhood? Ask these basic questions. You can also go to your police station and ask, what is the crime rate here? What kind of people live here? I mean, should I be aware of something here? It is extremely important that you do these things, because suddenly you come across and the next door neighbor is selling weed. You'll be in trouble. And then you will regret, why didn't I check it out? Or, I mean, it can be of any format that your neighborhood is not the way that you are wanting it to be. You have indulged. You cannot just buy and sell the next day. So you have to go and do some of these basic exercises and understand the entire neighborhood. Okay, Faisal, let's go to the next one. Making verbal agreements. Again, you have to put them in writing. This is a contract. It has, if anything goes wrong, you are on the hook. Everyone, whether you are as an agent or whether you are yourself or whether other professionals are there, get it in writing. Otherwise, again, you will be fighting it out with each other. I said this, you said this, he said this, she said this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get it in writing, nothing verbal. It is the repeat of the same one, but it is now on the basis of the contract, not only chattels only, but everything that is there. It has to be in writing and go through that contract. And there are many contracts here, Faisal, which have been prepared by the real estate board in plain, simple English. They explain you. They explain you those contracts. And those are the ones that you should be able to go, have a look at it, review it, and you don't understand something, talk to your agent or your professional, and they should be able to guide you there. Go ahead, further.
Yeah, reviewing contracts is extremely important. Verbal agreements don't work. Everything go through the contract, and they're already there in simple terms. Just take the time to go through. It just makes so much sense to not have to deal with the problems later.
You have to be focused, on top of your game. Homework has to be done. You have to be going with your professional completely on the whole contract. You have to make a prudent decision. You should know the entire 9 yards. What is going to happen next, and make sure it is in writing. Okay, last one. Understanding closing cost. Extremely important. Sometimes you are indulging with very tight dollars there. Anything can go wrong, and you have to be on top of your game, because if you're not on top of your game, you will lose your deposits. So it is very important to understand what are the land transfer, what are the title insurance, what is the home inspection that you had spent money on. Home insurance is there, then you may have to pay some CMHC, PST is there, and some miscellaneous stuff is there, and something may come out in between. Again, surprises may come in between. So be very careful about the closing cost. Sit down and get the, and okay, here is one more aspect to the closing cost that I would like to add. You have done all these numbers, and you have crunched these numbers, and you are perfect on that. Now, the seller may have paid the taxes for the full year. There will be an adjustment accordingly. The utilities companies may have been paid completely. There will be adjustment accordingly on the basis of your closing dates. And you may have to come up with some more funds that you are not prepared for. So the closing cost has to be completely understood. What are your rebates, and what is the lawyer fees? What are the miscellaneous? There are lots of details on that particular one. So have a talk with your lawyer and get a good sense of closing costs, and it should be within reasonable margin for a change, not going wild from one side to the other.
True.
Yes, Faisal, go ahead. We are almost done on this particular article, and we have covered almost 1.5 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Close. Go ahead.
Closing cost can vary, and this is usually a topic where I really have to walk the client through some things where lawyer says one thing, but then the bank wants a different number, because bank wants to see 1.5% in the account. However, that's for first time. Sometimes it needs to be 2.5. Specifically, if you've owned a property before, if let's say you never owned the property but your spouse did, now because you're married, you're also paying 2.5%, and so on and so forth. So there's a bit of a, I would say, closing cost is a rocky part, one of the rocky parts of getting through to picking up your keys.
Yes.
Very important one.
And I've seen in the closing part, these adjustments, they are not aware, like there will be going to be adjustments. There are some, and I have seen surprises come in short, because sometimes you, in the end, let's say suppose now, instead of first mortgage, you are also wanting a second mortgage for a short period. Lawyer fees will again kick in. Some other things will kick in. You can come up with another number of permutation combinations in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes lawyers don't even know what the closing costs are truly.
Yes, one or 2 days
before.
even before closing, and they will always come up with. I'll just tell you recently what happened is, I had given. I'm very thorough. I do go through these numbers very, very correctly. And I had given the right numbers, and suddenly on the 11th hour, my client called up, and she jumped all over the place. $4,000 extra. Where am I going to get it from? I said, hold on. Let me review the closing cost. Send me the paperwork that has been sent to you by the lawyer. Some smart person. It was the one of the items was $380. Okay. And some of the smart person in the lawyer's office had put it as 4380. It was 380. Now it was 4,380. And I said, who is going to charge 4,380 for this particular piece? And I called them back and I said, oh, we made a mistake. But the client would have had a heart attack, and that heart attack would have come to me because I'm the buck that stops there.
Specifically when you've referred the lawyer, it's even worse.
yes. When you're trying to do the best for everyone, and someone makes a mistake, and you have to just make sure. Okay, so these things can happen. So, okay, Faisal, let's go ahead with our topic of the day, and we are now. So we have covered the 2 articles, and we are now, I think so, with some of the, let's pick up on the main topic, perils and benefits of rent-to-own homes. That is our topic of the day, and this is what we are going to walk you through. Are you ready, Faisal?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's give you, I've shortlisted them into 5 points, which we are going to cover. First is the income perils. Second one is the down payment perils. Third one is the credit repair perils. Fourth is the falling property value perils. And the fifth one is change in your situation perils. Okay, now let's start ahead with the first one, which is the income. Now, before I walk you through the income part, let me explain you how the income format is calculated in a rent-to-own situation. Are you there with me, Faisal?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is the way that we generally do the income qualifications. Okay. Now, when we are doing income qualifications, there is no income speculation. Like, okay, I'm starting the rent-to-own today. In 3 years or 5 years, this is going to be my income. No, we don't work on that particular format. We work on the format, what is your income today when you're trying to do the contract. Okay, and second thing that we go through is, whenever we are talking about the income, we're checking the annual gross income. Is that the correct version, Faisal?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now this is what we do. We generally have a thumb rule, and we can go to the details later. If you're trying to buy a condo, it is 4 times the annual gross income. And if it is a freehold, we are going up to 4.5 times the income. Now, assuming that the credit scores are good, if by chance there are no debts, then this 4.5 times can go slightly higher. What do you have to say on that particular front, Faisal?
Absolutely. All correct.
All correct. Thumb rule 4 and 4.5 times. And if by chance the debts are low and the credit score is 700 plus, then you can even go higher than 4.5. Is that right?
Yes, but that's dependent, but yeah, you can go a little bit over 4.5.
Okay. So having said that, so basically we are trying to if you're in, these are the thumb rules. You can get into more details as and when you go across this one. Okay, so now let's walk you through what exactly is going to happen with the income perils. Let's say suppose you take a purchase price of $400,000 property. Okay, remain with me here, Faisal. The income qualification, generally, like this is what will happen. Most of the people will do this when you are trying to do a rent to own, and that is why I want to make it very clear to them. It should not be done on the basis of the purchase price, and I'm going to explain you why not. So the income qualification should not be calculated on the basis of the property purchase price at the time of the contract, but it should be done on the basis of option price. Like, see, after 5 years, you're trying to pick up this property at $500,000. You have to qualify for $500,000, not on the $400,000. Am I making sense, Faisal?
Yes.
So, see, if it was 4 times the income and your income was 400,000 and you say, I'm good to go for 400. No. Tomorrow or whenever is your next time, it will be the price that you have to get your mortgage for is on $500,000. So your income should be close to 125 instead of 100. What do you have to say on this particular action plan?
Absolutely correct.
That is why I have picked it up as the income peril is like, don't go with the one that is that is at the time the purchase price of the property. No, my purchase price will be 5 years down the line when I'm picking up that particular property. It is not the time that it is now. Make sense?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Having cleared that, let's go to the second one. Down payment perils. Okay. Now let's pick up this particular one. Before I indulge into the down payment details, let me walk you through what exactly happens in the down payment format. Okay, let's go here. Let's say you're trying to pick up a property which is around $400,000 per month.
Mm-hmm.
Your general down payment is 5%, which is around close to $20,000. Okay, now let's see for a free and detached property, how much does that amount comes to on a per month basis? And I'll explain you why I am going through the details of this one. So the mortgage is, let's say, suppose around close to $2,000. The utilities are around $300. The property taxes are around another $300, and the home insurance is around $100. I've just rounded them for good explanation there. So the approximate amount is close to $2,700. But if you're doing a rent to own, then $300 may go as towards your future down payment, and you may have to pay close to $3,000 per month. Now, for a condo and condo townhouses, those numbers remain the same, plus a $300 for an additional maintenance amounts. So this amount may come around $3,000 per month. And another $300 for, so between the two of a freehold and a detached, you may be between $3,000 and $3,300 per month. So now let me explain you what will be the down payment perils. Okay. The down payment you gave was $20,000, Faisal. Try to visualize here. If you do not complete the lease to own contract or the lease option to purchase contract, you will lose your $20,000 down payment.
Absolutely correct.
So you have to be extremely sure before you indulge that this money will be completely lost. Second amount which you are going to lose is, I just showed you in that example, was around $300 per month. So that's around $36,000 per year. And in 5 years, let me do some calculation here. 3,600 multiplied by 5, you have lost close to $18,000 in a 5-year lease to own contract. So now combine these two, 20,000 here, 18,000 here. If you don't close the contract, you are down by $38,000 and you are back to square one. And even the prices have increased of those particular properties. You're in a major, major disaster. So that is the down payment perils. So make sure when you're trying to indulge, your down payment will be lost if you do not work properly. Go ahead, Faisal, if you want to add anything.
So you're just going into zone that is just it all makes sense, but you never think of it
Yes.
that way.
And that is why I have made it as perils. These are some of the important perils, and these are overlooked. Everyone thinks it is all normal. But before you indulge in a rent to own, make sure you know what you're getting into. Because even halfway or anywhere 3/4, if you cannot complete the contract, it's a contract. You have to complete the contract. If you don't complete the contract, these things are lost. Okay, let's head over to the next one. Okay, Faisal, this is your expertise, credit repair perils. Okay, now let me walk you through and how we go about the credit score analysis when you are trying to buy a rent-to-own home program. Here is what it is. If your credit score is 600 and above, we strongly advise you get a mortgage. What do you say about that, Faisal?
Absolutely.
Anything above 600, we can get a mortgage?
Yes.
Yes. So there is no need for you to indulge. Best to get mortgage addressed and use your down payment accumulation and assistance if required. So this, as we have highlighted here, is best for mortgages. So if your credit score is above 600, do not indulge in rent-to-own program. Now, if your credit score is between 500 and 600, again, this is the best for credit repair. The reason being, it will take you a very short period of time with our expert here that you will be able to cross the 600 mark and avoid the rent to own completely and go and get a mortgage. What do you have to say on this particular one front, Faisal?
Absolutely. As long as the client works with me and responds and, does what is expected, it all happens in 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. When I'm going to end this, the whole webinar, just remind me, I'm going to ask you a question on that particular one, 3 to 4 weeks, okay?
Okay.
And I'll take your expertise on that particular one again. Okay, so now, as we have walked you through, that if you are between 501 to 600, go for a credit repair. He charges a fee for that, but gets it done very, very fast. Now, the next one is below 500. Now, again, here, you may go for a credit repair, but if you think your credit is going, it has so much repair that you need to go for the rent-to-own program, then this is where, if it is below 500, then you may go in for a rent-to-own program. So that is the difference between buying and selling. So between buying and rent-to-own, this is the only change that is there. You are repairing your credit for that period of time till you are able to procure a mortgage. So this is the best for rent-to-own program. You still require the down payment. The investors would prefer 1 to 3 year program, and the purchase price depends on the annual gross income, which I just indulged into. Did I make sense on this one, Faisal?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go and give you the credit repair perils. Okay. Now, Faisal, this is where they have to make sure that the complete funds will be lost if you don't improve your credit score above 600 at the time of completion of the contract. Okay, so there we have experts who will guide you, but the thing is, you have to remain with the experts. Your credit score is in the 450. We are guiding you, like this is the three, do all these particular things and your credit score will be 600 plus and we can procure a mortgage for you. But you do not follow those particular programs. You do not work with the professional there, and you are not able to improve that particular credit score. You will lose your funds. It is very, very important that you have to understand that. And second thing is, I'm going to give you something more back. If you can improve your credit score 680 and above, you will get the best rates in the market. You can even get a cashback. Cashback will be lost if you don't improve, if above 680 at the time of completion. And sometimes you are wanting cashback.
Sometimes you need cashback.
And so you if you need those particular things, you have to make sure you cross the 680 line if you're wanting the cashback. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. So those are the ones. If you would like to add anything to it, go ahead, sir.
No, it's I did not see this as a credit repair peril, but now you're bringing it on the table, and it absolutely is. Because there are times when your credit card bill is too high, you have down payment, but the bill is too high for it to work, and the cashback is one of the mortgage that actually works.
The Faisal, let me walk you through. Even people who are not in a rent-to-own program and they are fixing their credit, how many times you would have told them, sir, you need to do this. We have so few clients. We're not going to indulge into that particular part. They work differently.
Sir, there's only, and
how much can you teach them?
See, credit repair is also, you have to have the mind and the willingness to do that.
Absolutely.
Because credit doesn't become bad overnight. It takes time. And when it takes time, it takes much less time to fix it. But let's say if it has taken 2 years to become bad, you still need some time to make it good. And to make good, you have to work hard.
Faisal, we have one person from whom we are working for more than 1 year.
Yes.
He is in his own world.
Sir, I'm struggling on last 2 pieces, and every time I check the credit, there is something new.
Something new. And that is what I wanted to highlight here. You are picking the rent-to-own program, but you have to make sure you have to follow the guidelines. Because if you don't follow the guidelines, your credit score is not improved. And now you're suddenly saying, I can't do the rent-to-own closing. Sir, if you don't follow, that is the reason that you were in this particular program.
Sir, literally about maybe half an hour before, I had a client call me, and they're not even my client. I started with them in May. They sent me the copy of their report, and I said, you only have these 2 items. You can do it on your own.
Okay.
Why don't you try on your own and see if it works? If not, I'm here to help. They followed my advice. Their score has gone from 579 to just now today, they confirmed 801.
Awesome. What did you do there?
Sir, there were a couple of...
And they could do it on their own?
They could do it on their own.
Oh, wonderful.
It was simple. They left me a fantastic review on Google. And they own a pizza shop.
Okay.
So they said,
come in for a free pizza.
Come in for a free
and
pizza.
Bring a friend. Bring your webinar friend. Go ahead, sir.
And they said, take the pizza for you and your family from us, please.
Interesting. Very good.
So it's, and there's many times when I get clients call and I look at the report and I say, you don't have major work. It's small. And most of my clients, about 70%, I would say, small work.
Small work.
Not too much.
Yes. But the reason for me to pick up this credit repair peril was like, sir, in the end, you have to improve the credit score. If you don't do it, you will lose your down payment. And if you are like also waiting for cash back, I have to tell you upfront that it has to go above 680 and above in order to procure the cash back.
And nothing works last minute.
Nothing works, yes. You have to follow a path of action. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, Faisal, this is the falling property value perils. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, let me walk you through on this one. Okay, Faisal, let's say suppose we started with a 400 and the option price was 500. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Now the property has fallen down to 450. COVID has hit. Okay, now you have to close the property. So the bank is only going to give you 450. So you will need another additional 50K to close the property. Am I making sense here?
Downtown condos today,
Yes.
if they had bought it 2 years ago, 3 years ago as rent to own, they're all in that mess.
Format. So that is where you have to buy prudently, making sure you are understanding these things. Like, okay, what happens if the price falls down? Because now, see, this difference between 450 and your option price of 500, the bank is not going to give you that. And you have to close the property with 500. And the investor will be happy to cancel the contract, keep the money and go on, move on. He may lose also, because he's also going to lose funds if you don't close the property. But in the end, you are concerned about yourself that you will lose the funds if the property value falls down. Now, there is another aspect to it, Faisal. Hear me out on this particular one. I've spent a lot of hard work on this, you will see. Faisal, let's just suppose they are not able to close it in the 5-year term. And at the end of the 5-year term, they come back to the investor and say, we want it for another 2 years more. So now the property price is 550. You will require an additional income qualification if you want to extend this one. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So now instead of 125, you may have to go another 20 or 25K more. Literally 15K more to qualify. And you may not qualify. So these are some of the things that you have to see if you are not following the path. But all these things have to be known to you on day one, not later onwards. Or do you have to add to this?
So this is very realistic. It's very real on the ground.
These are hard facts. They can happen to you.
We've seen some files.
Yes.
We've seen some clients that signed rent to own. I believe 3 years ago we were discussing one.
Yes, it was a different format then. But they have to be very much aware. Like if they are not able to complete it in the 5-year term, and they have to go back and extend it, they have to then do an additional qualification. Okay, last one. Very important, Faisal. Change in your situation perils. Now, the first one is relocation. You have this contract for 5 years, but now you get relocated within 2 or 3 years. You will have to break the contract. So you have to make sure you're going to stay in that particular area or your lifestyle is not changing. It's because 4-5 years is a generally very, very long period of time, Faisal. People have to be very careful what they're getting into. And so I just wanted to highlight these particular things. Second one is, you may have bought it with someone. Faisal, why did I pick this one up, huh? Cannot bring it more down to earth, huh? A divorce situation is there, or you have bought it with a partner. Now you're both not getting along. You need to separate there, and how do you handle this situation there? I won't go more into it. Third is upgrade. Okay, this is also one of the things that you have to visualize, Faisal. When you started in that particular property, in 5 years, your situation has completely changed. You're in a capacity to upgrade, but now you have to close this contract. So the gist of this particular one is, before you act into this particular one, I want you to be clear of your situation, where you are, where you're trying to go. What do you have to say about change in situation perils?
All of them are extremely true. Somewhere I've learned that between 3 and 4 year mark, your lifestyle, things change.
Yes.
Something changes.
You can literally divide your life in 5-year marks.
Parts, yes.
Hey, if you go and reflect on your life and you cut it exactly in 5 years, you will see there was a difference. And also try to visualize when you're trying to buy a property. By the time you enter into the property, you try to settle down, 1 or 2 years have already gone. Now you're thinking of a change. Another 1 or 2 years have gone, and in 4 years, 5 years, that cycle has just got completed. 4 or 5 years is a perfect time frame when your lifestyle changes, your life format changes. You're a different person. So it has to be very, very careful when you are trying to enter a rent-to-own contract. Go through your future plans and see it from every angle before you indulge into it. Okay, let's head over to the conclusion on this particular one. Okay, so now, what are the benefits of, I said pearls and benefits of, now, not to fall for these perils is your benefits.
It definitely is.
That is what it is. Like, I don't need to go into the details of those ones. If you are aware, you have understood those ones, and you have not indulged into those ones, these are your benefits. And now, let me conclude this particular one, that that is why we call this one as a smart rent-to-own program, because how we have made this program for you, how we walk you through all of this particular one, and that is the reason that we call it a smart rent-to-own home program. And with that, the article goes, we complete this article, and Faisal, if you want to add anything to it.
No, I mean, all the reality is on the ground. There's nothing hidden. Everything is upfront to make sure that you're making a smart decision.
Absolutely, Faisal. Okay, now before we conclude, Faisal, I am going to give me one moment here. I am going to go here, and so guys, we have completed our articles and topic of the day, and now I'm going to walk you through 2 of Faisal's websites. This is called faisalgarcia.com, and he's a mortgage broker with Dominion Lending. You can be in touch with him on this particular website. He can get you the best of the rates. And second of his website is Credit Repair Now. and he's doing an excellent while in repairing the credits. And Faisal, if you want to add anything to this.
Well, both of those websites have lots of good info. So I definitely, suggest our clients, if they're looking for a mortgage or, looking to do their credit repaired, do some research and go through the website, understand. There's lots of resources there, helpful resources.
Okay. I told you in the end, I want to ask you a question on the credit repair. Now, first of all, there is a charge for it. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. This is one of the questions that I was trying to have a discussion with someone. And I told her, like, I have a very, very thorough gentleman who is an expert professional on this one, and he can do your credit repair. And I have seen him doing excellent jobs there. Her question was, in her experience, she says, whenever someone tells, I can do a credit repair, never believe into it. What do you have to say on that particular front? How do you answer that particular?
So, credit repair, I have seen some companies take advantage.
Okay.
And this is exactly what I'm going to bring it to. You know how you said, before buying a home, sit in the office, understand everything before you go see a home? Just like that, credit repair, there are companies out there that say they can do this, they can do this, they can do that. And a good example is there are companies that say, we can remove your negative items.
Okay.
Which means, let's say a Rogers bill that was not paid and it's in collection, we can remove that. Okay. By law, that can never be removed.
Okay.
You can work in such a way that it doesn't affect your credit, but you cannot remove it.
Okay.
There are companies that claim it, and therefore it's a world where it's hard to trust who to trust.
Walk me through what different you do that people have faith when we suggest them like the credit repair can be done.
So the credit repair strategy that I follow, it's 5 or 6 steps, depending on how bad the credit is.
Okay.
Step 1 is ask for client's credit report, existing one. See where they are.
Okay.
Do an assessment as to what needs to be worked on to get the score to what you need. If there are 5 items, but 3 of them, if you work on it, and will that get you, 601? Then we let them know 3 is what you need to work on. 5, if you work on all 5, it will be this. If you work on 3, it will be this.
So basically guiding them.
Basically.
Okay.
Then there is a cost to doing, either updating credit report, credit bureau, removing inquiries, basically challenging the inquiries that were not authorized, items that don't belong to them, items that are not updated. There are certain information that is not correct. All those things done, we reestablish the score. Once we reestablish the score, from there, we ask the client what to do with their existing credits and how often and what. It's step by step. Everything is laid out.
Okay. It is not anything hodgepodge here.
No, it's all
above the board.
Yes, all step by step. And then there is a follow-up.
Okay.
Once a month, there is a follow-up. And I've seen clients with my own eyes, their credit score changes month after month after month.
Wonderful. The second question I get, what is the difference between TransUnion and Equifax? Because both of them are different numbers always. And which one to trust? People feel very happy when they see their TransUnion, and when they see their Equifax, it goes down like crazy.
TransUnion and Equifax, they have their own place in the market.
Okay.
If you're buying a car, most lenders will use TransUnion.
Okay.
If you're going for a mortgage, most lenders want Equifax.
And why is that?
Equifax is widely known. Banks like to use Equifax, most of them. And it's more used in the credit world than TransUnion.
Okay.
It's just more used, I guess. I'm not sure the history of TransUnion and Equifax, but Equifax is used a lot more. If clients' score on Equifax is low, sometimes I challenge with TransUnion, but it's an uphill battle for me at that point.
Makes sense. Okay, Faisal, that was perfectly answered. Let me just take them over to two of my websites and let me walk them through. So these are two of my websites where you can come and get it reviewed. This is the page that you must have come, manojatri.com/webinar, where you can register yourself for the upcoming next ones. And also these are some of the other topics we cover. We buy houses, any GTA area, any conditions. We have investors who indulge into these particular ones. I have access to power of sale, bank sale, foreclosure properties in the Toronto GTA area listings. Feel free to email me. I'll be more than happy to provide you a list with them. Now, zero down and with a cashback program, if your credit score is 680 and above, he is doing an expert in getting you the cash back, and you can do almost like virtually zero down these days, and we can walk you through that. Rent-To-Own Homes program, you need more information, you can go and indulge here. The webinar, you can register here. And next is, if you have also a property to sell and buy another one, feel free to send me an email. I'll be more than happy to do a free assessment of your existing property and get you top dollars on those particular ones. And now, the second thing I would like you to have and come here and see is one of the newsletters that I do, which is called MA in Real Estate, where I curate around 8 to 10 articles every daily basis. You can subscribe on that page here. It is in your email and generally at the bottom of the description also, that you can register yourself here, and thereby I will be emailing you daily on the top articles of the day, and that is where you can get the most up-to-date information about Toronto and Greater Toronto area real estate articles of the day. I curate around 8 to 10 articles every day and give you an insight in what's going on. Conclude, Faisal. So we are at the end of the webinar. Today we are almost touching 2 hours. Wow. We love to talk, it seems. Go ahead. Go ahead, Faisal.
So, yes, we do, but I believe at the very least, hour and 45 minutes of good golden nuggets.
I appreciate that. Wonderful, Faisal. So thank you again for very good time with you. And without any glitches, we are able to complete. And all 3 channels are running. Thumbs up to both of us, sir. All 3 are running. We're waiting for LinkedIn to come in over. At that time, we'll be covering 4. And I was always wanting to do this. Facebook, you can go live easily, but going live on Twitter was not that easy. But now I am achieving that. So I'm Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We are live on all 3 of them, sir. And down the line, we'll add one more. And if all permits goes very well, then we'll add more streamings. Go ahead. You have to say something. Go ahead.
You sound like a kid in a candy store.
I know. I'm very happy with, because see, the main thing here is we were just always going at one place. Now we have gone through some of those glitches. We have figured those out. So you always feel so happy, like
it's an achievement.
It's an achievement. Yes, it's an achievement.
It doesn't. There is no physical item, but it's an achievement.
Yeah. I mean, you're able to cover more audiences, and you're now getting chats from Facebook, and you're getting chats from YouTube at the same time, and that is where it is. Wonderful, perfect, sir. Thank you again very much for all your time, and we'll be there after 2 weeks. So let me give the date. Next one is on the 30th of November. We will be there with new topics and for webinar topics and articles. And thank you to the audience. Thank you, Faisal. Really appreciate your time here.
Thank you very much for hosting this, sir. And thank you very much to the audience for being here. There's lots of golden nuggets. It will be there after we finish live. It will be on the social media. Feel free to play it again. There's lots of information that is helpful to you. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate again. Thank you, audience. Good night, everyone. Bye, Faisal.